You got to see the fans. You got to play in front of them. And that's the case here today. We have a full arena, as we always do. Draft is something that has been a bit of a weak point for some of HLE's games, but usually not in game 1. You know, it's the game 2, game 3 where sometimes they get a little more creative.
Draft is normally a thing that happens at the beginning of the series. And you know what, Wolf? You are absolutely correct. And we are also going to see the normal thing, which is Varus being banned away. I imagine Orianna going to be banned away. Cassiopeia is generally a second pick ban as well. But the Ezreal is going to slink in. This is something that HLE always bans because Gumayusi doesn't really like playing it. So it's been a bit of a universal ban here.
Hanwha yesterday banned Jarvan all 3 games and just did not play it, which, you know, Valdez and I were kind of joking maybe was a little bit of a Kanavi challenge where he's like, I'm not going to play my best champion. But with this Ezreal ban, I think it is very likely to be played, as the Anivia ban is quite an interesting one here.
Any Rise first pickers?
Could be the option, but I think that only comes through if the Jarvan is banned, but then Rumble is also up, so...
Karma is also up as well.
Yeah, wow, this with the Rise ban here, it gets a little bit tricky. Do you prefer the split Karma, or do you want the Jarvan? I think most teams pick Karma, but Hanwha Life eSports and Kanavi pick Jarvan.
Yes, they do. The Karma can be locked in now for Duro, though, if he would like to. I think this is a little bit dangerous, right? Because Nautilus is still up and it's Delight, right? Delight is the engaged support guy.
This is exactly what I'm thinking as well. Like, if you go for that combo, there's also the Ashe Seraphine that you could consider, but with the Karma up, I don't think you do. They probably just play Nautilus Misfortune, because that's what they do, and that's what they like.
And it'll be really good, and I'm really worried for Gen.G when that happens, Wolf. And I say when, because it will happen.
Yeah, it feels pretty inevitable here.
Wait, unless they pick away Misfortune here, that'd be kind of interesting.
That would be interesting. That would be quite unusual. I think they won't do it. I wonder what they are going to play. I mean, they could play Caitlyn here if they really want to try to dominate that bottom lane, as the range is quite strong and you get a lot of early value out of it.
Yep.
It does have some issues into the Jarvan later on. Just going to go for the Annie pick here for Chovy instead, because they want to make sure they have at least a stronger form of engage with the Karma here. Already, meaning that's a little limited.
Don't you just run into Lucian Milio, though, if they want to do that? Caitlyn is going to be taken away, so they cannot play the Caitlyn Karma. So now Ezreal Karma is gone. Caitlyn Karma is gone. And it's going to be a Caitlyn Bard lane. A little bit of a different mindset, you could say, for HLE as far as what has been flavor of the month. There'd been so many Ashe Seraphine lanes locked in, but this time Gumayusi gets one of his signature picks. Delight has been pretty good on the Bard, and they also deny that from the rest of the series as well.
I think the Caitlyn pick here hurts the Karma lane. It might just be Jhin Karma, which is something Gen.G's preferred. We had the graphic earlier. They're the team that's played it the most. They really like this. Ruler is an insane Jhin player. So is Guma. So you consider also the fearless value here for Gen.G as well with this pick. Does make a lot of sense. They think they're going to need a strong frontline top champion, though, to back this up, because Annie alone isn't enough setup here for a Jhin just yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Skarner ban that's going to be coming in here from HLE. I imagine that is something that they do want to get rid of, obviously.
1,000%.
Yeah, can deal with the Jarvan relatively well by just tunneling away from his Cataclysm. Isn't really too worried about that. So I'm expecting that one is going to be a ban. Gen.G, on the other hand, going to be taking away the Jace from Zeus. There are a lot of things that just kind of have to be banned. Unless you have a really good plan. Obviously, Kiin is a very good top laner, so probably would have been able to Yorick the situation. But I think Yorick is kind of awkward in the composition that they have right now.
I almost feel like I want to see Kiin Sante in this draft. More than anything else. It's just great front line.
If they do get the Skarner, because the Lee Sin is banned away instead, then I think you can be a little bit more flexible in the top lane.
You need something that can go in and that is very tanky so that the Jhin can follow up. So depending on what this final ban is, which we expect to be the Skarner, but they might have other ideas about their top lane. We'll see. Rumble's going to get banned here, so 2 strong side top lane champions, where they've been playing through the top side a lot more recently. Hanwha Life eSports have. Makes a lot of sense. Zeus' Jace is easily the best in the LCK right now, no question. And the Rumble is very difficult to deal with. They'll ban the Vayne, so Skarner does feel quite appealing here in this draft. It's really easy to set up Annie as well as the Jhin. Also, the move at speed from Karma is pretty insane for the Skarner as well.
Wait, Sion is so good for HLE. They just play a Sion comp, they put Zeka on something, like even a Victor. Zeka played Victor like just yesterday or the day before. And he did pop off. He was so good on that champion. His Orianna as well. Like his control mage play has just gotten so much better in recent times. Obviously, picking a Sion into a Gnar isn't the most fun.
Yeah, I think the Gnar is not great for this comp, but I think they realized what you were talking about. They just didn't want to deal with it. The Vayne was banned, but there's still a few other top ranged options, like the Tristana that was covered.
They could play TF Camille.
They certainly could.
Camille used to be a decent pick into the Gnar. I don't know whether it fares exactly the same way now, but it would be very funny.
And they also could play... Maybe they could keep it as a flex pick here, the TF, as a potential pick for Zeus into the Gnar as well. They'll go for the Aurora, though, which is very stock standard here for Hanwha Life eSports, and they can't flex because they are first pick, even though they're on the red side. I got trolled by a red first selection again.
Yeah.
But Aurora here makes a lot of sense with this draft. Very explosive mid-game power. See what that final pick here for Zeus is going to be. I mean, he really can just play a ranged top laner here and make this a triple threat, but instead...
Yeah, just the Sion, man. It's so strong. This is just classic front to back, and you can play around so much utilizing the Jhin. The Tempered Fate can be so powerful at disrupting this so that the orange tank can literally just move forward like a tank and just mow him down. The Graves hover has been happening a lot for Gen.G more recently, as Canyon going to be choosing a little bit more of a damaging route. Will take the Naafiri into Kanavi.
I think when you have the Gnar here, I mean, you could have still gone Skarner, but it feels like it makes a lot more sense to have a little bit more follow-up damage onto any type of engage the Annie can set up. The Gnar bar will be very technically difficult to play, but I think will actually work out very well for Gen.G because it is Kiin piloting the champion, right? We know he has an insane mastery of this one, and then the Jhin follow-up is there, the Naafiri gets the reset, and that's how you're going to play this composition.
Yep.
You just have to basically circumvent the Sion, or break through him with the Gnar. The Gnar is actually so good at helping augment the damage and actually cut through that Sion's health bar in front-to-back team fights. You can use him as a battery for your Gnar bar as well. I like both comps here. I don't think I feel like I walk away from this draft feeling like one team won. I do think the draft is a little bit harder for Gen.G, but when we get to the top level of LCK, we're talking about our top 3 teams here. What does that even really mean?
Yeah, exactly right. And I do think that Gen.G wins side lanes quite effectively. You mentioned the fact that that is a harder play style to play out, but playing around Kiin's Gnar is something that Gen.G can definitely do in order to secure a victory. Jhin can very safely farm things out, even use the ult in a pinch. And the Naafiri in the early game could really put Gumayusi in that very uncomfortable position that I feel like he's been in for the last 3 series in a row. It hasn't been the greatest time. Abandoned in the bottom lane. See how it goes as we get into the Rift for game 1. Oh dear, Chovy gets the ward, but does need to skill his E first in order to mitigate some of that damage. Yeah, and the ward survives.
We'll still be electrocuted and a little bit annoyed about how his lane is looking now, but I'm most curious about... Love that one.
The capybara is just so good.
Has a capybara in any form of media ever, like, not been great?
Nope. I think it's impossible for it to actually be not the most adorable thing ever.
I feel like it's like...
Did you see Flow? You saw Flow, right?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that movie is so good.
I think it was your recommendation that made me see it.
Yeah, we saw it with Mal and I think Pris and Dan, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I remember Mal.
My wife was there too. Yeah, that guy, that chronicler dude.
Rest in peace.
He was here for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, we watched it and it was just phenomenal. I cried like a baby, and it was the best.
It's a great movie.
It does make you feel things.
Yeah, the one thing I would not recommend for capybaras to be in is in your house. Like, you can't take care of it properly. You know, you think it's a great pet.
You can get a domestic capybara? Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, I mean,
that
you need to
illegal.
Check your local legislation before you consider it. I don't think you should consider having a capybara as a pet.
I never considered it, actually.
No.
Weirdly enough, that hadn't never entered my mind.
Don't keep them as pets. Like, just enjoy it in your memes and in your media and in, like, your Facebook feed that one time when you log in to check the red dot.
I think just get the emote in League of Legends, and that's probably enough.
Yeah.
It's also having a bath, which I imagine a domesticated capybara, it'd be a more difficult task to make them have a bath.
Yeah, when you watch it in the media, you don't smell it. It might be a little bit different if it's in your house.
Yeah, true. All right. The bottom lane was going all right for Gen.G, as to be expected with the Jhin Karma. This lane should be okay for Zeus very early, and then should go all Kiin's way, and the Sion will just be more valuable as we get towards the team fights. But I think that HLE's composition is feeling pretty evergreen, right? Like, it just gets It gets a bit awkward in the mid-game, I guess, when they're lacking a bit of damage when Caitlyn's in the trough, but then it really does well. And you can see even now, things are going all right. Caitlyn is kind of one of those champions where in the early game, very, very good.
Yeah, Guma, by the way, iconic for his Caitlyn. 3-0 on the pick this year. Like, it's actually a treat we get to see it as stepping a little bit far forward here will hit the barrier that fourth shot.
There's a lot of damage. And Deadly Flourish is going to go wide. A bit of a 3v3, but Canyon off to the side as the Snap Trap does come on down. Ruler getting all of these shields, though, is actually very valuable as now the battle for the Rift Scuttler is coming on in. Kanavi should be able to gain some control as Delight just wanders his way up, chasing chimes and taking names as the Bard.
Without Chovy's ability to roam, I think it's really difficult for Ruler and Duro to continue there as, this has been pretty good for Annie.
Yeah, Zeka's been good at it, though. As one of the only players that has actually won the matchup. We've seen this Aurora picked into the Annie all the time. This is not like 11-2, but Annie is the counter pick. This is 11-2, but Aurora is picked into Annie all the time.
Yes, that is a good way of explaining how that has occurred.
It's not great.
It's not great. I do appreciate that Gen.G did not just send it on this Scuttle fight, because we have seen particular Canyon really like to do that so far this year, because they trust their mechanics. But with the mid-prio situation there, and even though Guma had like a lot of damage on him and he didn't have barrier, I think his damage output is just going to be always more consistent than a Jhin in those types of scraps. Just don't think it was worth flipping the game over, which I think might have actually occurred at this level. You know, when you're playing against Gen.G and HLE, they don't mess up those leads if they end up getting a triple 4 minutes into the game. So do like that we just kind of settled down, walked away, let the crab go to Kanavi. Sometimes he gets his crab, you go back and buy your Dirk, and we move on with life.
Exactly. And do you know what happened? Gen.G have a 300 gold lead as a result. Absolutely amazing. I've got some updates. A fun fact from someone who is backstage says Capybara is German for in German is just water pig.
Is it like just
thank you, G-Sun.
Wasserschwein?
I guess so. Your German's still not doing too bad there, Wolf.
I guess that'd be what it is. I've never thought of saying capybara.
You sounded like you were angry.
I mean, I'm not. I'm just confused. But I guess that's how it comes across.
You were being mean to me. You're such a swine, is what it sounded like in my brain. Now Zeus is going to get walloped and does need to use his ulti to get himself out. In the meantime, here on this bottom side, Duro is taking Kanavi for a walk and will be able to soften him up with a bit of Q damage. And Gen.G putting on the pressure here across a lot of lanes.
Really well. Obviously, top lane is a winning lane. Chovy had a pretty tough start, having to skill his E at level 1, but is able to turn this lane around as the Annie continues to do well in this matchup. And down here, you know, the pressure has kind of been relieved, right? Kanavi's moved on, so they can just keep pushing with this Karma poke. And yes, Caitlyn has really long range, and they do have the range support of the Bard, but if he doesn't hit any bindings, it's hard for Guma to follow up or set up headshots.
Oh, Canyon could be in trouble here, though. Cosmic Binding does come down. They get the W pretty early as Canyon trying to work out what to do. He's very close to a wall, and that's first blood going over to Ruler. Canyon in the back of this pit, though, will be taken down by Zeka in the meantime, and he bounces over the wall and is going to be able to keep himself safe. Delight, though, may not be as lucky as the flash follow is a little late from Duro as the chains are going to get broken, and it's a 1-to-1. Gen.G walking away with the first blood advantage.
So unfortunate for Duro. That feels so bad because he could have otherwise just walked away with flash advantage, but he's not quite able to get the root. Could have been so high value if he did. This is a problem for Zeka.
Yeah, the bear is certainly a bit angry as Chovy's going to do that thing where he keeps his bear alive all the time. He has something that a lot of our Annies need to work on.
Yeah, he has a small CS advantage, and there is no teleport for Zeka right now. Canyon, you know, I talked about how sometimes he just sends it here. He does not actually block the initial play there from Delight with his jump. Instead, waits so Chovy can join here, but Zeka follows, actually, into the pit and gets the kill here and is able to, because he's Aurora, get out. I really like that play there from Zeka. Kind of saves this for HLE a little bit. Delight is able to flash the root here. Duro tries to follow, but Chovy gets a big lane lead as well after this, so slight advantage here to Gen.G as the dust settles in the trade. And we can see that lead in the bottom lane is starting to get a little bit larger here now with that kill picked up for Ruler.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, it's a Jhin. Does want to have a lead in the earlier stages of the game. Has that little bit of a trough himself. We'll see what he is going to be building. As we can see, the serrated Dirk going to be a whole lot of value as he builds towards first item. Ghostblade, but often needs a few extras to hit a real big spike and one that can actually help take down a Sion, who will be very tanky.
Zeka misses.
Chovy is kind of avoiding everything, is the way I like to look at it.
If that hits, it's kind of a trade for Zeka, but otherwise, Chovy shielded the damage, got the stun and the follow-up, gets the electrocute proc, avoids all of the damage, is ready to do it again. Zeka having a bit of a tough time against these Swifties. He's just closing the gap. He's already got so much range on Annie as it is, but with these Swifties, the advantage here in movement speed, Chovy is utilizing incredibly well to avoid that weirding. And he is really pushing this advantage, again, forcing Zeka to potentially TP here. Zeka decides not to, and Chovy's going to get Crystalline Overgrowth. Like, look at this. Chovy's insane.
Yeah, Chovy is certainly getting some work done here on this, Annie. We'll see whether it's going to get any better for Zeka as things continue, but like you were saying, I think the Swifties are an absolutely genius purchase, especially when you can upgrade them. And Annie does have the ability to augment her own movement speed, so it does just feel even better to grab those items. I say items because she's got 2 feet, so obviously you need to get 2, but it's only 1 icon on the screen.
Unlike Cassiopeia.
Yeah, who only gets 1 and puts it on her head, I assume. Because you're not going to put it on the end of your tail. That'll get
earlier on the space,
it'd fill up with dirt and stuff like that while you're slithering around.
Well, earlier on the space, they had "There's a Snake in My Boot" as the graphic title, which I thought was great. Great Toy Story reference.
I think it's more like "There's a boot on my snake" though, when it comes to like wearing shoes for Cassiopeia. That's what I assumed. There was a reason why it made so much sense for her to not have shoes, and now with the quests, she has to be able to buy them, otherwise it doesn't work.
Now she's broken!
Yeah, it's just not very fair. As Canyon going to walk on over, it is going to be HLE securing the first grub. But there's an ult in from the Naafiri. Delight does set up the magical journey, does take it in the end, and it looks like it is going to be a 1-2 as far as the grubs are concerned. Zeus actually taking a lot of damage towards his top side, though, as he walks forward towards Kiin. Kiin going for that lethal tempo variant of the Gnar as well, doing a lot of damage here as Duro seeing whether Kanavi wants to fight for this one, and in a rare moment of not going aggressive, Kanavi does not fall for the trap.
Yeah, he just walks away. So HLE get the 2 grubs. They don't lose anybody. And this is ultimately, I think, the best case scenario for them. Is still 1,000 gold behind, of course, as Chovy is just generating his own lead here by lane alone. No jungle.
Annie was like such a good laning champion.
She's fine in lane, right? But usually the Aurora can do a lot of bursts and has great trade patterns with her. But when Chovy's playing like this,
but like, don't we normally talk about Annie like, oh, she's fallen behind, but it's okay. You can still AoE stun in the late game and mid game. It'll be fine.
And when you get a lead, you just kind of press your buttons towards the enemy. Jhin ult.
Yeah, the curtains have been called.
He has no TP. He has to back again.
Oh, no. Well, I'm sure it'll get better. And this is revenge, right? Chovy came into this series locked in because he got slaughtered the last time these 2 teams met. Like, the last experience that he had against Zeka was his Yone.
Yeah.
In that game number 2 where they just got obliterated. So I think this one feels personal.
Trap.
And fighting goes wide. There is a Sion in this brush. And they do get the ward down to find out exactly what's going on here. Kiin gets the good news.
Chovy's coming down here as Tibbers is back up.
Okay, can Gen.G actually find an angle here? That's the question. Ruler does make it back to the lane. Very important. And Guma's going to have to back away.
I got to say, this was a really advanced play here from Hanwha Life eSports. It was more than just a bush trap. Like, Gen.G knew they were likely doing this, so they played defensively. Nobody dies, but it allowed Guma to get so much money back there. And they got 3 plates off the turret. So, really cool move from Hanwha Life eSports, just using jungle pressure there. Ultimately, they're still going to lose this dragon here, it looks like. I don't think they can contest this. And Gen.G are still in the lead, but plays like that can really even up your bottom lane.
Yeah, gets them back into the lane is what it feels like, as well as the second
Ruler.
rock. And he used his barrier, man.
Oh, man.
That is very unfortunate. So that is going to be annoying for Gumayusi, but he does go back and builds his scope. And so at least his gun is kind of lore accurate now.
Yeah.
Feels good. I don't know what it was before. I saw that there is a scope on the gun, like when he leaves base at level 1. but now I guess it's there for real now. It's not just a prop. Maybe
well, I think how
cardboard to
items
begin with.
work is you just like you put another gun in your backpack and it makes your gun better or something.
Ah, that's how it works. It's all right. Chovy is put into the Cataclysm here, but there is a Tibbers in there as well. Dash Cannon comes forward. Zeka does a lot of damage. Not quite enough as, ooh, Tib is also going to be taken down. Chovy going to be upset about that one as Zeka is finally able to get over to this turret, grabs that Crystalline Overgrowth, and Chovy is just going to go back to base.
With a very aggressive play that doesn't result in kills, it does get them a little bit more control over the map briefly. Unfortunately, there's just nothing really to take with that except the scuttle. And Gen.G got first dragon. They're 2,000 gold ahead now. The Sion pick is not really working. I love the lethal tempo tech that we've been seeing into both the Sion and sometimes the Cassante here for the Gnar recently, because it not only means that you can get a bigger lead, but then your lead is more valuable in team fights as well to cut through those frontline tanks. It just makes so much sense. God, I'm kind of surprised we didn't get that much. Yeah, he's 1,000 gold ahead just from the laning phase, right? It's a pick that Zeus opted into, saying, well, we need this frontline. Maybe the Jhin won't be able to cut through this. They don't have a necessarily consistent damage mid lane or either, so the Sion would be perfect, but the Gnar is suddenly the big problem.
It's so interesting, right? Because actually the big play from Gen.G is that they knew what the play was from HLE. It cost Zeus so much to roam down towards that bottom side, and oftentimes we've seen Sions get involved early and walk away with a massive advantage, right? They lose out in their lane, but they've picked up a couple of assists. They've got their other lane super far ahead. But Gen.G, like, they walked over and almost got hit by a Sion Q and put down a control ward that got cleared. Like, that's what happened in that instance when it could have been a gigantic advantage. As Chovy, not going to get hit by everything, but does take a whole bunch of damage. That dash cannon, that's why he buys it every time, ladies and gentlemen. And Delight now going to take a bunch of damage here from Canyon. Is now bleeding, but should be Delight being all right. Does have Kanavi over here, just helping him out.
Gen.G is kind of avoiding all pressure so incredibly well in this game. Chovy's now coming down to deal with this bottom wave. The Dragon doesn't spawn for 2 more minutes here, and Hanwha Life eSports is just really trying to force a play to get ahead with this Jarvan pick, but it's not working right now, and all of these lanes were won by Gen.G. Obviously, the top lane was a miserable lane for the Sion, and Sion's not supposed to win this matchup, but mid, definitely a little bit closer, and the Aurora is a counter pick. Bottom lane, you know, it's Karma you're laning into, but you pick the Caitlyn Bard, and just did not work out. They had a lot of pressure down there. Kanavi could not relieve, and just Gen.G, like, this feels like Gen.G of last year, where we just get to 15 minutes, and it's 1 kill they have, and it's 1-1, and they have a 2,000 gold lead.
Yep, this is feeling a little bit like the classic Gen.G experience. And we could be talking about, you know, which book series we're reading at the moment or something like that, because they're just going to take this Rift Herald. There's not going to be any contest here for HLE. And I feel like this is extra effective against a team like HLE. Is now Zeka going to take a whole bunch of damage? I am going to hold that thought for a moment as he just throws down the ulti defensively against this Gnar. And I don't see what the answer is going to be to this champion, as now Kanavi going to have to get out of there. Does manage to grab himself the Rift Scuttler, but the Herald is going to be thrown down in mid lane to take down that first turret of the game. And Gen.G very passively moved to almost a 3,000 gold lead. As I say passively, there's the doggos coming out. Thank you, Baha Men, for that beautiful song from a million years ago. And it is going to be Canyon locking down the second kill for Gen.G.
Gen.G are just snapping to life here, right, in this game. They naturally were getting large leads. They played a little bit defensively, and now they're like, it's time to strike. As Kiin's going to do it again, by the way, and this time, Zeka, 2 levels down, does not have that defensive ultimate.
Oh, no. Well, the Boomerang is just going to interrupt it back. Kiin is distracted by Minion Wave, been playing with Chovy for too long. And we're going to have a look at this one once again. Sometimes you die to a ward.
You do die to a ward, and all of the CC that is set up by your ability to stand in it, or your choice to stand in it, rather. So he dies. Great follow-up there from Gen.G, good punish. But even that play we saw from Kiin being like, I've got Triforce, I've got lethal tempo, you have to ult away, generating so much pressure this early as the Gnar is pretty scary when you imagine what can happen as Gen.G get further and further ahead in this game. Second dragon now is spawned. We're going to see HLE try to muster up a contest here. Zeus does have TP if he wants to commit to this, but it would cost him so much if he does.
Yep. 0 tech as far as our souls are concerned as we get Chemtech and Hextech out of the way first up. And you can see HLE haven't started this one off just yet. Canyon just going to walk on over. I think Gen.G pretty well aware of the advantage that they do have for themselves in this game. 3.3k isn't end of the world for HLE, but they just haven't really been able to make any positive inroads for the last 17 minutes.
No, they really haven't.
And Kanavi, yeah, he's a voyeur in that situation. Just walks over, watches the dragon die, and cannot do anything about it. Zeus is at least getting some cross-map play done as a Mountain Soul in this game.
Yeah.
My goodness, if HLE turn this one around and grab themselves 4 Mountain Drakes, I mean, they're going to win.
I also feel like Mountain Soul will feel really good for the burst damage that this Aurora is trying to do in this game for Gen.G into like the Gnar, for example. So that was the choice I mentioned that would cost Zeus a lot of money if he decided to TP in, especially if they weren't successful. He does get that money on the top side there, picks up some plates. So Sion gets some money and will push that gold lead down a little bit, but it's still the largest one on the Rift right now. And Gen.G, it looks like they just can't do any wrong in this game with how everyone is playing. And they look refreshed. They look super ready to just tackle this HLE draft and take it by the horns, as we're now heading to the part of the game where it might get a little bit tougher for Gumayusi with the rest of these moving parts a little bit behind in this game. His Caitlyn doesn't necessarily have a ton of setup here. And who follows up on the Bard ultimates when you especially don't really have map control? They have a lot of bottom side control right now. Let's see if Delight can maybe set up a Tempered Fate play here, because I think he's the one that has the most agency in this game. Is Zeus, not so much.
Owie. Yeah, he is able to, I mean, he'll survive, right? But he's getting annoyed by Tibbers, and we'll be able to just roar it away. The fact that Roar the Slayer works on Tibbers is very, very funny.
The damage taken stat is not one that we often use here at the LCK. We do kind of otherwise in some other domestic leagues here, like Challengers, take a look at that one a little bit more. But Sion normally kind of tops those charts, but in this game, I feel like very early, Zeus has really done big numbers in this game.
Absorbing a lot, as we can see. Tempered Fate just going to get hopped out of, as Kiin is just fine. Oh, Kanavi spots Canyon out there. I don't think I had vision, but may have seen him enter that brush. And Canyon looking a little worse for wear as he does go back to base. Has himself about an 800 gold lead at the moment.
I like these plays from Hanwha Life eSports, though, because the top turret's already down, and there's not really a cross map available if you kind of camp the jungle and Gen.G just play defensively. There's like no real loss for HLE fishing for these picks, and this is something Hanwha is so good at, even when they're behind in games, is just knowing that they can set traps, and teams will sometimes just kind of mess it up and end up getting caught out. Like Canyon kind of was there, but he had a blast cone and he's Naafiri, so he's okay. But, you know, it's Hanwha Life eSports frantically trying to pick something back up in this game, and I do respect how they've tried to do it. It just isn't working yet, and it's not their fault. It's just Gen.G are playing too clean.
Yeah, and they're going to move 4 people towards this bottom lane. It's the last lane that has an outer turret, so they're going to deal with that one. Obviously, it does give Zeus some time to take down the top outer to get closer to equalizing the turret take. But Gen.G just doing their very best to systematically remove the structures from the rift. And this will open up the bottom side of the map as well. And with Mountain Soul Point available for them in 2 minutes' time, I think it's pretty important to make sure that the map gets as dark as possible down there, because you were talking about it. Like, HLE, they rely so much on setup working out, and if they have it, my God, this composition is beautiful. But if they don't, and going in one by one, things like that, the amount of trap that you can spring on Gen.G's side is very, very large. And yeah, walking into the darkness against an Annie, Jhin, like, you'll just get shut, like, locked down forever and die.
Yeah, with the current setup of items, it's really challenging to win a fight, especially with Zeka not having his second one complete in this game. And I really fear for HLE just saying, well, we're not going to give Mountain Soul, we're going to fight for this, and committing heavily into a fight where they don't have the setup and just getting completely destroyed. As Duro might be completely destroyed.
Yep. Zeka goes between the worlds. Duro does have the good old empowered W, but that is going to be, oh, the flash forward. Duro gets his Inspire back, though, and walks it off. Yeah, Mantra W, everyone. It's one heck of an ability.
Yeah, Blue Trinket wasn't enough to finish him off there, although Guma did try. I don't know. Like, I was trying to figure out what they thought like they could do there, but Guma didn't have his ult. Actually, maybe he thought his ult was coming a little bit faster or something. It's just a reaction, I think, to try to get vision of the escaping target. But it feels like that's happened like 3 times this game, where Hanwha have almost caught someone and then everything goes right and the Gen.G player gets away.
If the Karma doesn't get one shot by like a mid to late game Aurora, like, there's something going wrong, right?
Aurora doesn't have 2 items. She might now.
Yeah,
there's the Shadow Flame. So
may not have survived if the Shadow Flame was done.
I think probably not. The situation here is now Zeka doesn't have his ultimate right away for this dragon fight because he used it to try to kill Duro. This is very, very tricky for HLE, but I don't think they can give this up. Zeus is preparing to teleport in. There it is, right into the front line.
Yep. Let's see whether this is going to be Zeus finding an angle to get an ult off, get a few knockups as Mega Gnar for Kiin is pretty early as he throws the house around. Zeus in that front line as they do manage to get a Tempered Fate onto one, but the follow-up isn't quite there because Kiin is running amok. And now the train's going to come on through. Tried to sidestep it, did Chovy, and he just gets bounced on. Flashes out of the way, though, and keeps himself alive. Kiin may not be so lucky as the flash forward comes in from Zeus. Ruler sets up the ultimate, though, and takes down Kanavi. And now Canyon goes in, gets two already, but he will be taken down. Somehow, Gen.G actually come out on top as far as the kills, but the health bars looking way better for Hanwha Life eSports.
Chovy escapes and is now going to head back to this fight as well.
Oh, Kiin comes back with full health as well after the teleport.
Exactly. I think HLE are just going to have to give over the soul point. And the beginning of the fight looked so good for them.
This looks like, yeah, like afterwards, it looked like they should have had so much control, but the teleport advantage from Kiin just, just ruins everything for HLE.
It's so frustrating, this game for HLE, because I feel like HLE have been playing a near perfect game from behind. Like every choice they've made, like they're camping in the bottom lane, the pressure on the red buff, this dragon setup here with Zeus coming into the front line so they can set up for this fight. All of it's great, and even at the beginning of this, like Kiin uses Gnar early, and the initial Tempered Fate isn't on a prio target here onto Duro, but it kind of buys space in this fight, and then they get they get Chovy, and the follow-up is there, but Chovy barely survives. One of those additional barely surviving Gen.G players, Ruler as well, because he's Jhin, even though he gets chunked out, gets to actually make a huge impact in this fight. Zeka is deleted. And that's the end of it. Like, Zeus can't really do anything to continue chasing, and because of that TP advantage you mentioned, Gen.G get to reset faster, take the dragon. Now they have Mountain Soul Point. And the lead here for Gen.G has just stayed at 3,000, but now they have so many extra tools. The extra side lane and Gnar pressure as well is already an issue. Zeka's 2 levels down.
And you were talking about, like, side lane pressure. You inherently get that by having Soul Point, right? They don't need to fight for Drakes for the next while if they don't want to. They can start playing around Baron, which has now spawned. And they can, obviously, just grab themselves a Mountain Soul and just feel absolutely fantastic for it. But this is looking a bit rough for HLE. I still think that their composition is going to remain strong as this game goes on. And it was Gumayusi that managed to pick up the kill in that last fight for HLE. So he has his first 3 items completed. Sort of reached parity alongside Ruler right now as far as the value of the items, but Caitlyn certainly able to utilize these 3 very effectively as Ruler going to get caught by the Tempered Fate. Let's see whether Gen.G can make this one work, as in goes Zeus, there's a Cataclysm, and down will go the Jhin. Canyon now in a bit of trouble, has to flash out of the way, but Zeka shows up. Chovy's able to get himself out of the ulti though pretty comfortably, and now Duro trying to CC Kanavi. Tibbers gets out of there, and the Magical Journey is going to get HLE out of the scrap as well, as Kanavi was looking very, very low, but they walk away with that 1 kill. Looks like Gen.G are not done yet though, as there's a great knock-up onto Duro, and he's going to explode. Zeka takes that kill down, and finally HLE win themselves a convincing fight.
A little greedy there from Gen.G at the end. Hanwha Life eSports' crowd going insane after those 2 kills go over, trying to turn this into a Baron, and with Kanavi here with Smite available, I think this is just going to be likely to go over. I mean, Canyon could try to look for the steal here, but they're going to say no.
Yeah, a lot of damage available here for Zeka as well, so he can't really face check. The Baron is down to about 6,000, and Delight taking a lot of damage here from Kiin, charging up that Nalbar as well, as Gen.G do not want to give this one up without a fight. Kiin goes in, there's the ulti from Zeus, so fantastic. Canyon steals away the Baron and kills Zeka! Oh man! They're going to have to play together on the national team after this! Oh, that's so unfair!
Oh my
Canyon
God!
is just going to steal the game back for Gen.G.
Oh man, that last part sent me.
Sorry.
Oh, that's wow. That was okay. Yeah, that's true. As Canyon is like, I don't know. Let's go. So this is kind of an iconic location for Ruler. He doesn't like it very much, but he does die here from time to time in high stakes matches. He is focused down here, and a lot of the damage is gone, but also a lot of the tools have been used. So Gen.G are like, we got a Gnar. We got a Gnar bar. Let's actually see what we can make of this. As Kiin just charges up here onto Kanavi, pushes him out. the Hanwha Life eSports like, yeah, but they don't have their Jhin. I think we can actually just buy some space here and go over after we catch Duro. Look at the burst that comes onto Duro as well. Everybody just focuses him down. But Canyon, we're like, okay, he got blocked by Zeka. He can't do anything here. He's got no flash. There's no way. Like, gets pushed away.
And it was all Kiin, man. He was so good.
Look at Canyon as well, though. He's like, I'm going to kill this Aurora, but also I'm going to press D on the way.
He was barely in range!
Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't even look like he's in range in the replay.
Oh my goodness. Well, now Kiin and Chovy are throwing some abilities at Zeus, building up that damage taken number, as Kiin is not afraid of anything at all. As Zeka is going to be taken down, Chovy is the one that locks up the kill. In the meantime, Canyon is just killing Kanavi, getting him out of his own jungle. And yeah, Zeus, I mean, he's still taking a fair bit of damage here, but HLE are just getting corralled.
And I think that, like the rest of this game has been, it's just like another moment where HLE's almost got it, but can't quite. Like all the escaping Gen.G members, they've almost killed. Sure, this time they finally kill Ruler. They get the catch on to Duro, but they can't get the Baron, and it feels like they're just... they're playing well. They're making the right decision, but Gen.G are just better and luckier. You know,
yeah, the luckier thing is absolutely true. Just, my God.
It feels like, you know, are we going to really look at in this situation as, you know, I don't want to talk about this replay too much. I want to home back all the Baron, but are we really going to look at Zeka and be like, I guess he shouldn't have been standing there, because if he was, you know, he gave Canyon the angle and he dies and he gives the Baron over, so I guess we'll just blame. Like, I
mean, really it didn't look like he was in range to me.
No, I mean, like, I really think we can't criticize HLE too much. We just have to celebrate Gen.G in this one. 4.4K ahead as they go in.
Yep. That is a decent number for Kiin, but he's going to, oh, never mind, he's killed by the Cataclysm and not able to get any value at all in this fight. Gen.G may just have to get out of here. Tempered Fate onto 2, though. They're not going to have the option. Flash out from Ruler, but Duro is dead. And HLE are angry, and they are going to be able to deny the soul from Gen.G.
They deny the soul, and they cut the gold lead in half. Bit of a sloppy setup there for Gen.G as they just kind of push into the jungle. And there's so much burst here, even with the lead they have, even with the Mountain Soul point they have. It's not a Mountain Soul, as Ruler is just getting run down. Aurora going to TP on him. I think he's just dead.
Yeah, Ruler is the Jhin trying to hurt a Sion, and that is just never going to happen. Over comes Gumayusi to take him out, and Gen.G just in an instant fall apart.
Yeah, that's the end of their Baron run, and... Wow, okay. So going back to this fight here, Kiin's on the wraparound. So they really want to fight this, especially now that Canyon's low. They're like, all right, we have to go now. They go on to Guma, but he flashes away. They have the shield to come through.
He could have killed them all. Like, Kiin got just wrecked, and that was their whole game plan.
Yeah, well, that's the whole game plan, and then they still sent it trying to kill Guma. Like, Chovy was like, I'm going to stick to the mission, right? He, like, flashed in to follow to try to kill Guma, but the fight was already over once the Gnar was focused down. So Chovy is then pushed back, and it's a huge disaster. I mean, sometimes you can say, all right, plan is we flank with the Gnar, we kill Guma, but when you see the reality, sometimes you got to pump the brakes a little bit on those types of moments, and I think Gen.G just really thought they were further ahead than they were. I mean, they were massively ahead, but now their gold lead is less than 1,000.
Yeah, and Gumayusi, he is 305 with 4 items completed, and they're the 4 good items as well, right? He's going to be doing so much damage from this point onward, and it doesn't even really matter how much armor you get to build. No one's really building all that much of it. As Kiin is going to jump on top of Delight. Yeah, he takes about 50% of his health bar. There's the rest of it as, okay, Tempered Fates himself as Zeka. Oh dear, not actually going to find the angle to get himself in, so it's just the Bard dying for free. And Zeka has to ult to get to safety. The curtains are being called though. 1 bullet. Is that going to be enough here? And I think it just may be. As Canyon comes on over and is able to lock down the kill, and now it's HLE's turn to just fall apart at the seams.
Now, 1 bullet's enough to get the slow, to get the follow-up. And once again, Canyon just deletes the Aurora. As Guma hasn't died this game, he's pumped massive damage, but everything is falling apart around him right now as here comes the Sion focus.
Oh dear, well, it's going to take about 15 minutes to take him down. Well-calibrated boss fight there as Zeus is able to get himself out, and Kanavi as well is able to get over the wall, but the inner turret not going to be so lucky. Only 1 of them left remaining here as Gen.G look to try and pile on that gold lead once again.
So Delight is kind of like collateral damage here. He plays this so well too. Gets the stun, Tempered Fates himself to buy space, but there just isn't follow-up. Zeka kind of messes up how he wants to get in here, and then he just gets run down by the rest of the team, has to ult defensively. Ruler gets that 1 hit, and that's enough for Canyon to follow here over the wall. Hits this ultimate. It's got such long range, and that's the end of him. So
They don't get a massive amount for it, though.
Yeah, HLE really just need a team fight where they could set up a first pick. Like, if they can kill anybody, I think their front to back is insane at this point. The Caitlyn is so huge. This could be the pick.
Yeah, Ruler is very, very dead. The question is, can Gen.G do anything about it? And the answer is absolutely not. As the Tempered Fate was on a Blast Cone. Very annoying that Canyon couldn't take down the Blast Cone and then lost his Wolves. My goodness.
And we're going to go to Baron again. Are we going to repeat history? Let's see where Zeka stands.
Well, we've got 40 seconds on Ruler, and Gen.G doesn't look like they're going to contest this. They're just going to give it up.
Well, last time around, it was a little bit of a closer fight. Some damage was done to the HLE members, but this time it's just straight up. They're all full health. They got the free kill on the Ruler, and Gen.G are not going to commit to the contest a second time here, and they're just going to have to give it up. This game is so close.
I think now, though, it's starting to swing because HLE's composition feels better in the late game.
Yeah, I mean, Ruler, I hate to do it to him, but like he's kind of Ruler spotted twice by them because they've got such great engage, on this immobile Jhin that doesn't have flash, and they're just fishing. Like I said it earlier, but I really feel like Hanwha Life are doing like everything right in this game despite the deficit. They're looking for the right targets, they're fishing for the right moments. And if they get a few more of these, I mean, maybe even just one more, the game is theirs, right? Like, the lead is shrunk. We're 33.5 minutes into this game. That 1.5 gold lead doesn't really mean anything. The Caitlyn that has 3,000 gold, the advantage, I feel like means the most out of any lead across the map here. And Guma is ready to carry. He has his LDR. He's got rapid fire cannon. He will just delete anybody who gets caught by Kanavi, who has a second life with his GA. I feel like Hanwha Life eSports have so much more agency now, especially this Baron that's going to give them prio here, and they should be able to use it to secure their second Mountain Drake of the game, and the Sion is only getting tankier.
Yeah, and getting on top of Gumayusi is so much harder than you'd expect, right? Like, Kiin, decent diving champion if you have that Narbar in order. Chovy can flash Tibbers and all that sort of stuff. But there's a Mikhails, there's a Locket, there's like all of these things to keep him safe. As Canyon on the wraparound, I think, is still in the fog of war. As Kiin gets Mini-Gnar once more and spots Zeka as well off to the side, but Canyon still unseen.
He has popped an elixir. He is so tanky right now.
Yep, he is an absolute monster. As there's Chovy getting engaged on, flashes out of the Cataclysm, but he's still taking so much damage. Duro wants to try and help him, but I don't think Chovy's making it out of this one. Finds the Incinerate stun, but Kanavi's there with the Q to take him down, and now the Tempered Fate going to be avoided. No, Canyon actually in the GA, and now comes back up to die. Ruler tries to get out of the way of Zeus, but we know how this one goes. It's real difficult to escape this Sion, as Kanavi is chasing after them. Finally, he's able to get aggressive. And he does flag and drag forward, but Gen.G, they get underneath their turret. We'll see whether this is actually enough to keep them safe, though. Because HLE are kind of immune to damage.
I think
with Zeus in the front line.
I think they just end here. There's just not enough to deal with them anymore. They need Chovy. Ruler's not going to be able to get it done by himself here. They try to thin the wave. That's their best chance.
Yep, they need to try and deal with these minions. So the first Nexus turret is going to go down, though, as Kiin pulling the wave as best he can. He does have that Narbar building, as now Gumayusi needs to be careful. He's got a GA, but he is not immortal. At least Delight stands in front of him, avoids that deadly flourish damage. So the game isn't over just yet.
Chovy's going to respawn. HLE need to get out of here ASAP.
Yeah, the Dragon is still up and available. There's a deadly flourish, as now Chovy looks to try and get on top of Zeus. Man, he is booking it with those upgraded Swifties.
What a game we have here. Now HLE are going to go back to this Dragon here. They have that super minion push wave in the mid lane, and even though they're a little bit bruised, they are able to go over here and secure this without a contest. Canyon's so close. Can he catch Zeka with Kiin's help?
Yeah, Kiin gets that boomerang down. There's a deadly flourish. The ulti comes forward. Zeka is likely to die to the bleed and will go down to the Naafiri. And the curtains have been called on Delight as well. HLE now so incredibly low as they look to make their way out. And Canyon, oh, you cannot overextend on this one, though, buddy. This could be scary, as Kiin is inside the enemy base. I guess he is not afraid of anything at all as he gets in front of the trained as Canyon. And Zeus taking a lot of damage here. We've been saying it all game, but that is continuing to be true, as Kiin, a very angry Gnar, now turns Mega but takes so much damage, and the Cataclysm going to take him down. The Sion's also dead, though, as the rest of Gen.G are getting down to business.
Yeah.
They deal with the top inhibitor turret. They get the inhibitor as well, and now it's Gen.G that moved the needle back in their direction. This is the closest game we've had all season, I swear.
I just want to say, just like give both teams, like we should just end this with a 1-1.
Yeah,
okay.
And the 1-1 stands for first place. Both of them, just have first place for both of these teams.
All right, when you watch some of these fights here for HLE and how quickly they decide the target, right? They go on to Chovy, they can heavily commit. They kind of basically, with the elixir here onto Zeus, he just invalidates Ruler's existence. Like, and then Zeka gets on top of him here. Ruler is like, okay, well, try to chase down this Aurora. This flash. Amazingly timed here from Zeka. And now they just can't get away. Luckily, they are able to survive with Kiin here. This, by the way, looks like this is AI playing League of Legends. Like, watch how quickly they fall. Look at this aim from Ruler. Canyon goes in. Like, the fact that this is actually a 5-man unit coordinating how these picks happen from that far away and with that precision, it's just insane to watch. It's such a good game. Canyon going to stop the back here, but then it ends up being a little bit awkward as Zeus is so tanky, and they commit so heavily to this, and it kind of backfires.
Yeah, a little bit. They do manage to kill Zeus finally, so he will be taken out. Kiin as well, looking a little, sheepish after that. Cataclysm takes him down. But, I mean, you'd say worth for Gen.G. That being said, 1,000 gold means 0 at closing in on 40 minutes into the game. And there are Rabadon's death caps from everywhere. Tempered Fate is going to fly down here as the curtains are being called as well. HLE might be in a little bit of trouble here as the last bullet will connect onto the Bard. Zeus' health bar is just getting comically large.
Yeah, it's really huge. Look at his passive, 1362.
My God.
The longer the game goes, especially if Hanwha Life can get these extra mountain dragons.
Oh, Canyon gonna get spotted here. But Kanavi and Zeus, I don't think are gonna be killing the Naafiri by themselves.
The key here, one of the keys, there's a lot of keys in this game. There's a lot of things going on, but the top push is not really that strong yet, but given enough time, the inhibitor will be on the opposite side of this dragon, which is what Gen.G are looking to take to secure Mountain Soul, right? So that is a huge thing, as well as the fact that they have the inhibitor respawn advantage. As I don't know if you should be poking right now, Duro.
Canyon gets behind the minion wave as well. HLE can slink off towards this Baron.
They have a Bard.
3 this game.
Yeah, they have a Bard that can really warp this team fight if they look for a turn, but I just don't think they have enough of an advantage right now to actually start Baron. I think that's a bit of a pipe dream at this point as they're dealing with this mid-wave, and their inhibitor's about to spawn Gen.G. 40 seconds on that one. Dragon in 130, and they're going to clear this vision. Now, Hanwha Life eSports, the map gets a little bit dark. It gets very difficult for them to play things out. We talked about it, feels like so long ago, like 20 minutes ago, about how when you lose control of the map here with HLE's comp, it gets a lot trickier to have that agency.
Oh, Canyon needs to be a little careful, but is able to clear out that wave as finally someone comes down to deal with the bot wave. The inner turret was actually just taken by the Winions a little bit earlier on, so HLE getting themselves a little bit more gold back in their pockets. But 1 minute's time on this
Ruler, not again!
And Ruler is able to walk out of the way of the spot there as it's a lot of damage. And the Cataclysm avoided by Ruler, though, very nicely, and he hits that first bullet. Second goes wide, third hits home, and Kanavi almost down to the GA already as the interruption from Zeus just puts him down. Now Kiin looking to make his way in. Kanavi still extraordinarily low with that GA in hand as Ruler gets put in between the worlds. But Zeka's unable to finish him off. The flash forward from Chovy gets the stun. There's the follow-up. Boom goes the dynamite, and down will go the Aurora. It's in trade for Kiin, though, so a 1-for-1 here at 40 minutes into the game, and Gumayusi, he gets the snipe, gets the GA under Canyon, who then goes untargetable, tries to get away, but Gumayusi's got the bullets, and he takes him down. No smite for Gen.G, no hope for the Baron.
And Zeus has TP, he's able to get straight back into this mid lane, and he should be able to hold the door here. The Dragon is spawning, they have to rush this down so fast if they're going to get it, and they just cannot. And Gen.G now on the back foot as Ruler avoids this initially, and it looks like at the beginning of this fight that Gen.G can do no wrong, but it gets a little crazy when they super send it here onto this low health Jarvan. Kanavi's able to survive here despite that final shot landing. I think Gen.G could have slowed this down. Instead, Canyon tries to go in here, Kiin tries to follow, and Kanavi's taunt is just too global across Gen.G as Kiin then gets focused down as Zeka buys space on the left side of the fight. Beautiful fight here from both sides, but HLE with that charged up Q to keep Kanavi alive, to interrupt Canyon.
Backing on a ward, man.
We've had it for both our junglers this game now as Guma gets the auto in the air. See you later, Canyon. That's Baron for HLE.
And Soul Point on both sides. And what did we say at the very beginning of this this game?
You set the stakes, man. 4
Mountain
Soul, Sion.
Mountain Soul. Good God. Zeus will never die.
His health just keeps going up.
Yeah, there is one in the death column. That is, I think that might be all they've got. I think they're going to have to fight around it.
When he gets Jack shows and we go into a longer fight, I want the observers to click on him. I want to see those resistances. I want to see that armor. He wants to end the game right now. He's going to charge into this turret, or try to.
Yeah, didn't quite. He got there a little early, but Chovy is splitting on the bottom side of the map as well. They will be able to take down this inhibitor very quickly, though. And with the Baron, I mean, they can move over towards this mid lane at the same time. As 2 inhibs now down, there is a wave now crashed on the bottom inhib turret. So, I mean, they're not going to be taking 3, but these Nexus turrets are not long for the world. And, I mean, Gumayusi's got all of his items. This guy hits for about 1 trillion with every auto attack. And there is the Tempered Fate. Actually buys Gen.G some time. But now, if they just let Guma hit this Nexus, they will just lose the game. And Gen.G do that right now. Game number 1 goes to HLE, and they just would not be silenced.
Absolute banger game here to start off this best of 3. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time because you just do not know if the other team is going to snatch it back.